All right, gonna review Futurama. Two more episodes. So we have episode uh, 12 and episode 13. 12 is titled "Insane in the Mainframe," which is a play on a popular song, I think. Not the episode, just the title, which I'll get into that in a minute. Um, and the episode 13 is titled "Bending in the Wind," which I really like. So first and foremost, I think I have to. I've come to a conclusion about the series up to now, seeing as how I've watched these. Like I think I've said this in like the last 10 reviews. Oh, I've seen this episode 100 times. Um, and I've made an argument for why that would be bad. So I'm not going to go over that again. But I'm going to say I see there's a great effort put into each episode. I mean, you have the title, the story, and the title and the story. I mean, there's a lot of effort put in both of those things. Um, now you take the position of these creators. I feel like at the time when this came out, there was nothing like it. This was the first. So they were relying heavily on old principles, such as okay, middle, beginning, end. Whereas newer animated shows are just freeballing it and are taking a lot more chances. I feel like, um, so for instance, in the first episode, Insane in Mainframe, I think it's a great idea, but it's such it's such an old way of looking at things. I mean, they're just taking the characters they have. They've introduced a new character, and they put him in a pretty realistic situation. You have a friend who turns out to be an associate. You have an associate who turns out to be pretty unstable, and look at the hijinks that ensue. I'm just repeating words that I've heard before. So look at what happens. So they're gonna take that. In this first episode, it's Bender and Fry. You see mostly they go to a bank because they're talking about savings and whatnot. Fry winds up spending all his savings, which is $100, on scratching or lottery scratchers. Which, okay, that's a poke at. There's this belief, which I've just stumbled upon. There's belief. There's a certain group of people that believe that people that buy those things in hopes of becoming rich are idiotic. Now, I come from a background where I've watched people in my family buy those, and I've made my own mind up about it. Of course, I feel like the lottery and scratchers is not a scam, but if you look at it from the odds, you're not gonna win. And the scratchers, depending on which one you get, you're probably gonna win a couple of dollars. But if you win $2 or $3 and you only spent $1, you gain. Even if you win $2 and you spent $1, you just won $1. So, what's the likelihood of you going back and buying another scratcher and then you don't win anything? So then you didn't. So basically, it cancels out. It's things like that. But I don't believe that it's wholly idiotic to do it. Now, it can also lead into an addiction, gambling addiction, and that's a whole other story in itself. I don't know where I was going with this, but I just don't feel that. I feel like that's a poke at people who really who are struggling from some type of problem that they decided to really just pour all their funds into that. I haven't seen that. I'll admit that. I haven't seen somebody give their last either. I've seen somebody be like, "Hey, I got my paycheck, so I'm gonna spend $2 $3." And come and think about it, if you spend $1 every drawing, or I think it happens once a week or something, lottery, what's $1? That's what I'm saying. What's $1? And the possibilities you winning are slim, but what's $1 a week? things can't be that bad. If things are that bad for your financials, then hey, there's a bigger issue here. What's a dollar? Personally, I don't do that. I don't know why I just went off on this complete, not necessarily a tangent, but I went off on this complete. I went off all the way over there somewhere. Apologize. Just get back to the episode. Um, so yeah, they wind up running into Bender winds up running into an older friend at a bank, and Bender's friend, his name is Roberto. He winds up robbing the bank and giving them some money, but then when the police show up, they're sitting there holding the money. So hey, you robbed it. Wait, we didn't really rob it. So it's a whole bunch of humor involved in the court case, and the mix-up. Fry winds up getting sent to mental institution for robots. But he's a human, so everything they're doing for robots, of course his human body can't take. So there's some more jokes involved in that. Um, it turns out that they won't release him until he, shows that he's sane, and they're only. It's weird because the robots are only programmed to believe that everybody there is insane. They can't. They're robots. They can't see that that's actually a human. They're like, oh, it's just a robot who thinks he's a human. So they make Fry believe he's a robot, and then he's released. But by this time, he's too far gone, and Roberto comes back, and Fry winds up finding all this courage, saving the day after everybody's held hostage, and then he finally realizes that he is a robot. Of course, with a human. I apologize. With a kiss from Leela, his love. I mean, that's that episode in a nutshell. There's probably some things I didn't pick up. There's some things I didn't pick up. There's some 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 class debates that are brought up. I feel like, middle class versus upper class versus basic people in poverty. I feel like there's some debates that some great discussions that can be had uh, from things that happen in that episode. Now, the next episode, Bending in the Wind, I have to admit, I've seen this episode quite a few times, like some of the other episodes, but I enjoyed this episode because it has a lighthearted feel to it. It's not, it doesn't bring up any conversational pieces. I think this one is, excuse me, I think this one is um, leans more towards entertainment purposes. It's uh, Bender winds up getting into an accident early in the episode and somehow runs into a famous artist at the hospital and winds up going on tour with him and becomes like a folk singer. And there's all types of things that they poke at in this one, but I just feel like it has more of a lighthearted feel. Like for some reason, I like this episode. It doesn't harm anybody. I don't think like I said, it just it's a feel good episode. It's purely entertainment. I feel like you get to watch Bender travel across the country. There's jokes in here and there, and so who follows him? Fry, Leela, Zoidberg, and Amy. They somehow find a um, they somehow find a Volkswagen bus, which those things are in value. Those things are skyrocketing in value. I feel like, especially the one they had, with the one with like the 21 windows or something. Those things are worth a gajillion dollars in real life. But they wind up finding one of those, and of course, it's all decorated in a hippie style. And in the episode, they wind up in San Francisco, which I don't know. I think it's a classic story of teens in that era that I want to say all through the '60s. There was a lot of drug use and a lot of rebellious actions, and of course you had people who were in war zone coming back. Very very bloody conflict that America was involved in during that decade. And well, so I want to say through the middle part of that decade into the next decade, very bloody conflict America was involved in. Um, and I think that happened. I think it really happened. I mean, of course, I wasn't born at that time, but this episode just it's a feel good episode in my opinion. Um, it's a great journey piece. I don't think I've told too much about it, but I enjoyed this episode. Hopefully these reviews weren't too bad. And there'll always be another upload.